Our farm team reviews over 1,000 properties a year. The goal is to bring what we believe the best farm investment opportunities at an attractive price to the platform. One of the primary tools we use here for diligence is Acres. This is our in-house land analysis and comparable sales software, which I have pulled up on the screen. In front of you is the Brookville farm. So obviously plant growth begins with soil, so we always start with a comprehensive breakdown of the soil classes, their dispersion across the property, and then their potential production value. The quickest way to consider that value is with the soil score. This tends to be highly correlated with potential crop growth. For Minnesota, that is a CPI score. So where the Brookville farm has an aggregate score of 87.9, this is out of 100. The three most common soil types on this farm, Amoret, Swan Lake, and Canisteo, are rated 92, 93, and 98, with the lower scoring soil encompassing much of the non-farmable drainage ditches. We then review elevation, potential flood risk, crop history, historical imagery, and vegetation index. This is a satellite layer. It analyzes the color gradient of crops across the growing season. You can see with the elevation layer that the northern portion is relatively flat with more slope in the south. If we then turn on the NDVI layer, you can see two things that stand out. First, there's a consistent area of lower production in the northern parcel. This runs from the northwest to the southeast. You can also see in wet years, such as 2017 and 2018, the slightly heavier clay loam soils in the northern block suffer from a lack of drainage. This is further supported when you look at the historical images. On the FSA layer, we can see 55.3 farmable acres on the east parcel. Now, zooming in, we'll see an opportunity to add farmable acreage on either side of this drainage. In addition, you see some lighter green in the southern end of the property. This is about 11 acres of pasture and is not considered tillable acreage. However, the farmer we're working with is planning to transition that ground to tillable acreage. This could increase the number of rented acres in the future. We estimate the total potential value to add of about 15 additional tillable acres, and again, those could be rented down the line. All of this data confirms whether or not a property is investment grade and what potential improvements we may want to execute to increase the value of this farm and then make sure we leave the asset in a better condition than when we purchased it. After initial asset diligence, we then move to financial diligence. This is an exercise in analyzing the value of the property. There are two primary ways to value a property. One based on income, and then one based on our understanding of market values. Using Acres' unparalleled comparable sales database, we can pull an extensive list of year-over-year sales, reviewing not just near-term comparable sales, but also researching the trend data to make sure we are positioning opportunities in the market that have historically shown consistent appreciation of farmland values. Now, cost per gross acre is not particularly helpful since only the farmable acres are rented by the operator, so we use FSA farmable acreage data to recalculate on a cost per tillable acre basis. Even then, when reviewing anywhere from 20 to 50 comparable sales and years of trend data, we have to understand the value based on the productivity of the soil. An 87.9 CPI should be valued differently than a 70 CPI farm. For this, we recalculate cost and run financial diligence on a price per soil basis. So if the Brookville farm is purchased at $11,734 per tillable acre and carries an 87.9 CPI, then the cost per CPI point is $132. We can then fairly quickly compare that to the $138 per CPI point for the 5 most recent and relevant comparable sales, and get to an understanding that the deal warrants further financial analysis, focusing on those local rental rates relative to the purchase price. If all of these factors are promising, we then execute a site visit or send out our local farm manager and complete thorough financial modeling. Now, our farm manager's visit to the property confirmed that the northern 80 acres could benefit from adding tiling, and that the eastern and then southern parcels can add farmable acreage. This informs the additional $60,000 budgeted that you see in the financial model. All opportunities are then reviewed by our investment committee. This must unanimously approve the offering for it to make it onto the platform. Since transparency is at the core of everything we do here at AcreTrader, we provide a full downloadable financial model directly on every offering page and make ourselves available to answer any and all investor questions. So please reach out.